Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name's Katie Stickley. I'm one of the co-founders of Did Teach. I taught for 19 years and now I spend my time basically speaking to teachers about how they can change careers and speaking to educational organisations about the value that teachers can bring to their workforce. What's really nice is to meet people like Rysia who have successfully left teaching. They've created an incredible tutoring company and now they've got a new venture as well. So, I mean, you've done a lot, haven't you, Rysia, in terms of your career? So 17 years teaching, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Casey. Yeah, so I was teaching in mainly London schools for 17 years, so secondary science teacher, a little stint abroad as well, teaching in an international school. But yeah, 17 years, and then left almost 2 years ago now, so February of 22, and now run two businesses. In the last 2 years, basically, just started two businesses.
That's amazing, and a real testament to what teachers can do and the capabilities that we've sort of grown within the classroom and how that can take us. And so, yeah, it's really lovely to speak to you tonight again. I know we've had a chat before, haven't we? But it's lovely to have you back. And just to find out a little bit more about how can you leave the classroom and match your salary? How is that? How are you capable of doing that? So yeah, it'd be lovely to hear a bit of your journey, your personal journey, and hear some tips and insights, and then learn about your academy as well.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, no, thanks for having me back. That's great. Do I share my screen or
I can share it now.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
There we go.
Brilliant. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So, hello to everybody that's watching. Thanks to everybody that signed up. So hopefully I'm going to give you some useful ideas today on basically how you can match your full-time teaching salary, like I say, as an independent tutor, because that's essentially what I do. And like I was just saying to Casey, basically I left the classroom in February of 22, so nearly 2 years ago now. And I've set up my own successful science tuition business. And what I also do now is I show people how to set up their own tuition businesses too. So let's have a look. So this presentation, if you like, tonight is suitable for a few different types of people, let's say. So I've sort of broken it down into 4 categories here. So whether you are maybe a teacher who's looking to leave the classroom, so for obviously everyone's got their own sort of reasons, but let's say you wanted to leave the classroom and you've been thinking about doing tuition as a career, as a plan A, if you like, rather than as a sort of plan B, then this is for you. Also, if you are maybe a tutor at the moment who is tutoring successfully, but maybe you're focusing mainly on one-to-one tuition, and now you've found you've sort of hit like a bit of an income ceiling by doing one-to-one tuition, because obviously there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, and you want to obviously reach more, higher financial goals, then again, this is for you. Or maybe you're a tutor at the moment who started your own tuition business, but you're actually struggling with it. So maybe you're struggling to grow it, or you're struggling, even to get some students, or just you've only got a few students sort of signed up, etc. So this is for you too. And the last thing is maybe you're a teacher that is in the classroom, maybe you're not ready to leave yet, but it's something that you're considering doing, or maybe you're, I don't know, after maternity leave gone part-time and you want to have like a tutoring business on the side while you sort of consider your future options, if you like. So essentially these kind of sort of 4 main categories, I'll say, is the sort of people that I help. So yes, as I've said on here, then basically if you're one of those types of people, then I can help you, okay? And the way I can help you is there are a few different ways, but what I'm focusing on tonight is, like Katie said, the Tutor Toolkit Academy, which is what I now run. Now, with the Tutor Toolkit Academy, basically all of you that are watching, if you're teachers, obviously you know how to teach. So it's not something I'm going to teach you, you know how to teach, you know how to do your job, okay? So it's not that. But it's a case of maybe you're not sure about how do you actually run a business, because obviously that side of things is really quite different to what we do in the classroom. So I essentially show you all of the business skills that you need in order to run your own tuition business rather than the teaching side of things. So that comes into it a little bit, but it's mainly about the business side of things, and specifically for tutoring. Now, what is the Tutor Toolkit Academy? Well, basically what it is, it's a 12-week tutoring business coaching program. So it's specifically for tutors, like I say, and it's a bespoke program. And it's one that I've created myself, and it's for ambitious educators that want to, like I say, replace their teaching salary. So to replace like for me, my upper pay scale free full-time teaching salary, I have replaced and exceeded by doing private tuition. So that's who it's for. And again, like I say, it's for ambitious educators. And I put the emphasis on ambitious because it's not an easy program. It's quite an intensive one. But the end goal is that you can then have a lot more freedom and basically become an independent tutor. And either, like I say, do it on the side or do it instead of in the classroom if that's what you want to do. Now, I'm currently running my first cohort of the Tutor Toolkit Academy and these are the 10 members who are currently in the Academy. We're just about to start week 10 of the 12 weeks course. And I've been blessed to basically have these 10 lovely people on the course. So if I just sort of run through a sort of a general sort of gist of the types of people that are on the course at the moment and see if this resonates with any of you out there that are listening. So for example, sometimes I get asked, is it just for science tutors? And the answer is no, it isn't. I do have a few science teachers that are on my course, but that's just purely coincidence, I think. But it's for secondary or primary. So here in the current cohort, 2 of the teachers on the cohort are primary teachers, but the rest were secondary on this particular cohort. But it's applicable to basically primary or secondary and any subjects. Okay, so it's not specifically for science or anything like that. Also, there's a combination of people in here, if you like. There's a couple of people in here who had already started their tuition business and have been running it for a while, with reasonable success, if you like, but they were finding that they weren't reaching the goals that they wanted to in terms of income and recruitment of students. So I've helped those people. Also, there's some people which are still in the classroom, for example, in this cohort, who are doing it on the side at the moment. And there's other people which are basically have just recently left the classroom, say after maternity leave, and are now doing it as a full-time job. So a real mixture here. Now, in terms of what the current Academy are saying, there are some testimonials on my website. So if you look on www.thetutortoolkit.com, you'll see some testimonials on there. Excuse me. And I'm particularly active on Instagram. That's my main sort of social media page. If you look on there as well, there's quite a few reels on some of these testimonials, and you'll hear the majority of the cohorts sort of speaking on those reels, so you can see how they've found it. But a few key sort of things I've picked out are obviously on the screen here. And one recent one which we had was here with Zahura, one of the tutors. She's actually hit her first £3,000 a month, which she'd never done before, and she's been doing her business for a couple of years, and that's in the last 8 weeks. So a real amazing progress.
Yeah, that's great. I remember seeing that on social media and just thinking, wow, that's where you want to be, isn't it? As a teacher, taking home that kind of money, doing something that you really love with a subject that you're passionate about.
Yeah, exactly, totally. And it's just with a few little sort of tweaks really, and guidance and skills, or tools, if you like, which I have given her, and she's obviously done all the work, but it's just having that someone to guide you with what to do.
Yeah.
So in terms of how it works, there's a sort of few different prongs to it, if you like. So the first part of the Tutor Toolkit Academy is that it's a live, it's like a hybrid course. So it's like an online and live coaching, if you like. So there's a combination of the two. Now, what we do is we have, like I say, it runs over 12 weeks, and we have a weekly coaching session with me. So obviously I lead the session with the 10 teachers and tutors, and this cohort sessions is going to be on Thursday evenings. So the previous one was over 2 different days, but this one, which is started in January, is going to be every Thursday evening, and it's from 6:30 until 8 in the evening. So that should then hopefully be all right for people that are still in the classroom and people that are obviously not in the classroom. And what we do is we meet live on Zoom, and I basically give the group a task, if you like, or a task or a focus for that week, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. And we basically I coach them through that task, give them ideas, tips, advice, they can ask questions, etc. Now, things that we cover over the 12 weeks. So the first thing which we cover, is branding. Okay, so branding is really important in your tuition business, especially if you are going to be doing it as a proper actual business rather than just sort of like a sides thing. And so we look at that, and I teach you all about that. Oops, I've just gone backwards. There we go. Also confidence. Now, I find with the current cohorts, I'm sure they won't mind me saying with some of the people in there, but also with a lot of the tutors which I have like calls with, or chats to, people that book in a chat with me, confidence is a real issue with teachers, I would say, that have left the classroom or looking to leave the classroom. And I was exactly the same when I first left. Like I say, in February of 22, my confidence wasn't very high at all. So I really do help, or try to help everyone as much as I can with their confidence. That's a big part of it for me. It's basically about mindset and confidence. So we do a lot of work on that to get you feeling a lot better about yourself and your abilities. Money as well. So obviously money comes into it. It's not all about the money, but obviously if you want to replace your full-time teaching salary, then we're going to have to be making a certain amount of money. So I look at that with you, and I basically show you how you can break it down and work out exactly how many students you need to match your income goals, etc., and how much to charge, all those sorts of things. Now, social media, obviously social media and marketing are huge areas, and I find that these are the areas at which most teachers and tutors kind of struggle with. The majority of them do when they first start, because we're so not really used to doing it in teaching. You don't really use it that much. So we focus a lot on social media, mainly Facebook and Instagram, and a little bit of LinkedIn, but mainly Facebook and Instagram. Also, we look at student retention. So once you've recruited students and you're tutoring them, how can you actually, what methods and techniques can you use to retain those students on a long-term basis and hopefully recruit things like siblings, etc. We also look at equipment. So again, a lot of the teachers and tutors that I speak to, they've had experience of tutoring online, for example, during COVID times, but now things have changed and progressed quite a lot. And a lot of teachers feel comfortable doing one-to-one tuition online, but when it comes to groups, which is what I do, like the group model, a lot of people are a bit unsure as to how could you actually tutor a group of students online effectively. Excuse me, and particularly with practical subjects like science, etc. So I'll show everybody how to do that. Then, we focus, like I say, on group tuition. So obviously, if you are going to be tutoring online, there are lots of different models you can use, one-to-one, international groups, etc. But I focus on group tuition, if you like. That's my kind of niche. Okay, so I'll show you all about that. We also talk about boundaries, which are really important in terms of, your terms and conditions and how you can get it so that you're running a business that you really enjoy and that you really like. So that's really important as well. And that comes up a lot, to be honest. Marketing, like I say, is a massive area, which we look at, and also lots of the software and apps that you can use in order to automate a lot of the processes in your business, which will end up basically saving you a lot of time, which is obviously a good thing. Now, I've just highlighted on here, even though we cover these 10 sort of main areas, to be honest, confidence and marketing are two of the really big areas. So, for example, the current cohort, marketing, out of the 12 weeks, marketing's actually been covered for 4 weeks, but different prongs, if you like, to it. Because it's such a vast topic. You could do a whole lot course on marketing, but basically 1/3 of the course is focusing all on that, in terms of getting students, etc. And confidence, like I say, runs throughout as well, and mindset work. We're constantly working on that. So that's the 12 weekly coaching sessions, if you like. Now, in addition to that, just to say, that as well is available as an online course. So you could also just buy that as an online course if you look on our website. But the difference with the Academy is in addition to that, we also have a private Facebook group, which is members only. And I call it the Tutor Toolkit Tribe. So we're like a little tribe, if you like. It's a real cohesive community. We're all working together, all on the same side, if you like, supporting each other's wins, and also supporting each other through the struggles and things like that. That's really important. So that's on the Facebook, sorry. And then in addition to that, the last thing, which I think is one of the best parts, personally, is that you basically get me for 12 weeks. Okay, so you get me unlimited access to me for 12 whole weeks, so for the whole course. And I basically call myself like your business coach in your pocket. Now, I've put on there, for example, that it's, like WhatsApp. Now, to be honest, it can be WhatsApp. So it could be messages on WhatsApp. It could be little voice notes on WhatsApp. But also, it's not just that. It's Zoom calls as well. So one-to-one coaching with me as well. So for example, this week with the cohort, there's been about 3 of the members which I've met with on Zoom for an hour, one-to-one. Other members of the cohort prefer doing WhatsApp messages like 11 at night, so if you're a mum like us, that's when you're just sitting down. So basically it's unlimited at any time anyway, just whatever suits you. And that's really good because then you get a lot of personal support as well as sort of the support within the 10 of us, if you like, or 11 of us within the tribe. So just to kind of sort of summarize on that, it's what we call, if you like a high touch course. So there's a lot of interaction. Like I say, it's not just, you set a task each week and then off you go for a week and then we just meet the following week. We're constantly in touch with each other. So on a daily basis, I'm constantly WhatsApping, voice noting, if you like, the members and then back to me as well. Like I say, we meet on Zoom during the week as well as the live on Thursdays. So it's a high touch course. So I'm really involved with every member. And this is also why I've only got 10 spaces available, because if I feel personally, if I had any more than that for myself, I wouldn't be able to have as much interaction, if you like, with everybody. So I've deliberately kept the numbers small, and it's worked really well for this cohort. Also, it's good for accountability. So I'm there for you as well, obviously being your sort of cheerleader and your support, but also to kind of sort of prod you sometimes, maybe in terms of, or have you done this yet? Or, this is maybe something you might want to think about, etc. So if you feel that you're a sort of person that would work well with someone, sort of supporting you and kind of helping to sort of push you along, if you like, gently, then it's a good option for you too. I also give weekly implementation tasks as well. So like I say, at the end of each week, after the live call, I'll give you some of the online videos to watch, because I have online videos too, and also set tasks which you can complete or you don't have to, if you like. And I've kind of found with this cohort, it depends, because some people are still at school, so they haven't got that much time, if you like. So it's not rigid. It's basically, I give you everything you need to do, and if you want to do it in that week, like I sort of suggest, then you can do. But if you want to just sort of note it down, if you like, and work at your own pace, that's fine too, because obviously everyone's different in their own situations. But you'll have like a year's access to everything. So everything's recorded, and all the online course, you'll have a whole calendar year's access to everything from the moment that we start. So again, you can go back to anything at any time. It's not a case of you've got to get it all done in 12 weeks. Unless you want to. And again, like I say, we improve mindset and self-confidence, and you'll see that a lot on the testimonials. If you look on my Instagram, I think that's, it's really helps a lot of the members with that, which is great. And like I said, you've also got like an online course which accompanies this as well. So as well as all the live stuff, there's an online course on something called Kajabi, and basically I upload everything onto there, so you can access it at any time on your laptop or even on your phone. So it's all really accessible. So in terms of live coaching calls, I think I did say, but just to sort of reiterate, it's on every Thursday from 6:30 until 8 o'clock. So after school's finished, etc. Now, if, say, for example, my old school on Thursdays, we used to have parents' evenings. If that was the case for you, same with you. If that's the case and you're going to miss one, don't worry, because they're all recorded. So if you missed one session or 2 sessions out of the 12, then it's all recorded and you can watch it on your Kajabi platform. So that's good. Now, this is just a screenshot, but this is off my website. And if you look on my website, so www.thetutortoolkit.com, you'll see like a weekly breakdown of what we are planning to cover over those 12 weeks. However, to be honest, it is fluid. Okay, so even though I set, for example, the current cohorts plan, if you like, I've adjusted it as we go, because it depends on what everyone needs, if you like. So that's like an outline, but I do change it if we need to. Also at the top here, I've put I meet with everybody for a one-to-one session before we start the program. So for everybody that signs up, I'll have a one-to-one Zoom with you before it all starts, so I can get to know you a little bit and get to know your situation, etc. before we start too. Right, we're nearly there. So with this, then by the end of it, because it starts in January, by the end of Easter, or by the start of Easter, you're going to have a clear direction for your tuition business. Okay, so whether you're starting it from scratch, or you're thinking about doing it, or you've got one already which you want to sort of develop, you should have a clear direction by Easter. And you're also going to become upskilled. So for myself, when I first started, I had £1,000 savings when I left the classroom, so virtually nothing. So I didn't have any money to sort of outsource things, even though I'd love to do that. So this course as well, because I've been asked, are there any additional costs on top? And the way I do it is there are minimal costs on top. All you've got to pay for is like your Zoom or your TutorBird subscription, etc. I don't sort of, obviously you can, go and get someone to do your social media marketing, etc. But I'll show you how you can do it yourself so that you become skilled in it. And then if you want to outsource it, you can do. So it's good for anyone that's on a budget. And again, like I say, by the end of it, you will also hopefully have much more confidence as well in yourself, and also your mindset hopefully should have started to sort of shift more positively if that is an issue at the moment. And just to show you how I know that it works, well, the current cohort, obviously, are having really good success with it. And also it's what I do. So I still tutor, even though I do the Tutor Toolkit, I still tutor now only 7.5 hours a week. So this is an example of my timetable. And I've got about 45 students. I think I could have more if I wanted to, but that, to be honest, just on 7.5 hours a week brings me on average about £6,500 per month. That's gross before expenses, etc. But to be honest, for online tuition, the overheads are really small anyway, because I only do it online. And as you can see on that graph, August is right down below, if you like, because I don't tutor in August. So I still have all my school holidays. So if you average it out over the year, it's about £5,000 gross. So it's more than, a full-time teaching wage. And that's on 7.5 hours a week. Mm-hmm. Again, you can do whatever model suits you. So in terms of what's the investment for the Academy is £997, and that's for the full 12-week course. And if you break it down, that's roughly about £83 a week for the 12 weeks, which, to be honest, is a bargain, because you're getting the community, you're getting me as a coach going, one-to-one anytime you want on Zoom, on WhatsApp, etc. You've got the other members as well there with you. And also there is an instalment option available if you wanted to do that. Now, when does it begin? It basically begins on Thursday, the 11th of January. So it's not long, I think about 5 weeks time or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like the second week back, I think, after Christmas. And the doors close on a few days before that. So on the Sunday, the 7th of January, because that then gives me a chance to give people the materials they need before we start and have the one-to-ones with everybody. And there's only 10 spaces available. Like I say, I keep it deliberately small, like the current cohort. If this time period isn't good for you, then I'm planning to do another cohort at the end of April. So again, that's something maybe to bear in mind for the future. And in terms of payments, there are two options. You could, if you wanted to do, like I say, because it's £997, you could do an instalment option. And for that, if you look on my website, you just have to pay a deposit of £100, and that will secure your place. So you could do that today if you like, it secures your place. And then it's broken down into 3 instalments of £299 over 3 months. Now, I haven't added any extras or anything on that. If you do the instalments, it's literally the same price. I've just broke it down, so there's no extras on that. But it just makes it easier if anyone wants to spread the cost, because obviously it's nearly Christmas as well. Now, alternatively, if you did want to pay it in full, obviously I have to give you a little bonus if you pay in full. And the little bonus for that is that you will receive 2 bonus one-to-one sessions with me after the course has finished. So if you did want to pay the £997 in full, then you do obviously like the 12-week course with me. But then at the end, within 6 months after finishing the Academy, I will then give you 2 one-to-one sessions with me for 60 minutes, both sessions are 2 hours on Zoom with me at any time within those 6 months after finishing. Which I think is really useful, because I've already got a couple of the current cohort which are asking me about that. And they will be free if you pay in full. So a little incentive there. And that's it really, Casey. So I've just put on here as well, like my contact details. So I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram is my main one, Facebook as well, and then my website. And that's my little sort of slogan, isn't it? Slogan there. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So again, there's lots of tutor coaches out there nowadays, offering similar things or different, but with lots of different personalities. So just choose someone that resonates with you. But if it's something you're interested in doing and you feel like you could work with me, then just please get in touch, and you can always just book in a call as well, and we can just have a chat. So there we go.
That's lovely. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I think it's really nice to see the sort of money side of things. I know that's not the be all and end all, but it's really nice that you shared that with us, like how many hours you work and how much you get from that, because I think that's the main thing that I hear when I speak to teachers, and they sort of worry about matching their salary. And of course, we live to a certain lifestyle, don't we? And we don't want to compromise on that. Plus, we're talking about trained individuals. You've gone to university, you've spent all those money on fees to get to you to the sort of point that you are within your teaching career. You don't just want to leave that and take a job for 20 odd grand. It has to be something that's really worthwhile. And so I think this is a really nice academy, the way that it all works, the idea of group tutoring as well, so you can sort of minimize your time and maximize your money as well, but you're still doing those students a good service. I mean, when we teach in a class and sometimes they ram 30 children in one lesson, you're still teaching to a high level, aren't you? It's not like you're dumbing it down or you're splitting your time with them. You are still teaching to a high level. So it's really nice to hear. I did want to ask you, and everyone feel free to put questions in the chat if you want to ask Rysia anything at all. But I would like to ask about the teachers that are doing it whilst teaching, because I know, because I set up Did Teach whilst I was teaching, it's a lot of work. How do they balance it? What sort of problems and solutions are they finding?
Oh, what with their current cohorts?
Yeah.
It is a bit tricky, to be honest. And that's the other thing to say, so for example, even though I only tutor 7.5 hours a week, and to be honest, now with the science tuition, I don't really have to do much else, touch wood, it kind of sort of runs itself now. But initially, for the first year, definitely the first year, it was intense, and I wasn't obviously just working for 7.5 hours a week. So I don't want people to get the wrong impression and think, I can leave and earn £5,000 a month and work 7.5 hours, because eventually, yes, after about a year or so, you will be able to do that, hopefully, like I have. But initially, it is a lot of work to set up a business. So you will be working a lot outside of that to set everything up. So yes, the people that are currently in the classrooms, I think in the current cohort, I've got 2 which are currently in the classroom. Yes, it is a struggle. It is like a balancing act, if you like, because obviously, you're still teaching and then trying to do this. So I would say, again, it just depends, to be honest. Everyone's situation is different. And if you've got children or if you haven't, etc., that can obviously affect it as well. So that's why I've made everything available for a year, if you like. So even if you can't necessarily implement all the tools straight away, it's still all there for you, if you like. And you're learning all the skills and everything you need to do it at your own pace. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But I guess, the whole point of having a coach, isn't it, is to have a bit of accountability, because you can just go away and do this. Absolutely can. But sometimes if you want to get to that point quicker, learning from someone's mistakes and also having that accountability, like, I haven't done that task and they're looking for me to have done that, it does help, doesn't it? And we've got a question here about what's the maximum group numbers you have when you're tutoring?
Yeah, the maximum I have. So I have maximum of 10 students per group. And again, I talk about this in the academy, but some people will say, oh, that's way too many. Other people will say that's fine. Some people do like 15 students. Some say 3 is maximum, and that's the beauty, I'll say, because now it's your business, if you like. You can do it how you want and what suits you. So I've chosen to do 10, and it works absolutely fine for me. I don't find any issues. And like you say, it's not a case of then you're sort of losing on the quality of the teaching, because you're not. It's actually, I prefer, to be honest, doing groups, and larger groups sometimes are even better, because you get that kind of banter like you do in the classroom, that's kind of group dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me,
doing revision sessions like that as well, and you just find that the class kind of bounce off each other a bit more in it, and it sort of spurs you on a bit, and again, there's that accountability, isn't it? You can't just just forget to do your homework or just forget to do the revision. Other people are there sort of egging you on a bit. Yeah,
definitely.
And your tutoring business, is it called Simply Science Tuition? Is that right?
Yes, yeah, Simply Science Tuition. Yeah.
Someone was asking there. He
Oh,
wants
right.
to jump
Really?
out the window.
Yeah, no, Simply Science Tuition, which, again, on Instagram is Simply Science Tuition. Yeah.
So have a look at and check it out so you can sort of see the business model end, I guess, the one that's winning, and that perhaps that you might want to do that yourself. And I was going to ask you about your current cohort. What are talked about confidence. What's the biggest barrier then to just setting up on your own and doing it? That sort of why are they lacking that confidence?
Well, I think, to be honest, it's kind of overwhelmed. There's a lot of overwhelm, which, again, I've definitely experienced, and I still experience at times. I'm not, free from that. I'm still on my own journey too. But, it is really overwhelming. For a number of different reasons. So, maybe you possibly might not be having a great time in the classroom. Okay, possibly. So there might be stress and stuff there anyway. And then you're trying to do this on the side, and it is a big job. It is a big task to do it. So there's a lot going on. Plus, you might have young children, etc. So there's a lot to handle. Or maybe you're fine in the classroom, or you've left the classroom, but just setting up your own business anyway is really overwhelming. There's so many different elements you can do. And the way I do it as well, because I'm doing it intensely, if you like, over 12 weeks, I'm showing you everything, like literally everything. I open up my business, if you like, and I show you all my figures, everything, and what you can do. And some things you don't have to do at that stage, if you like. So, for example, we were recently doing email marketing, which can come later on in your business. And so sometimes that can feel a bit overwhelming. You think, oh God, how am I going to do that as well as doing this and this and this? So whereas other sources of overwhelm, I say, is just confidence, really. I think from a lot of the tutors and teachers that I've met, just their confidence is really quite low, and it's just so I think it's just a case of building that up as well, which is what I really try and do with everyone that I work with as best I can.
I find that when teachers come on our workshop, and I think one of the difficulties is that teaching is so fast paced that we forget to really reflect on what a good job we've done and what we're proud of within our teaching career, and we just move on to the next cohort of students, the next initiative, and it really is hard to kind of sit back and say, oh, hang on a minute, you did this really, really well. We sort of almost deflect it back onto the students that they did well, but it was us that got them there. So, I think that's a massive thing coming out of teaching at the moment. And it's so sad because when you actually talk to these people, and I bet you've had it with your 10, you find that they've done incredible things in the classroom, really exciting, different things that you've never thought of, things you've never seen before in your teaching career. And it's quite exciting, that, isn't it?
No, definitely. And I find as well, there's a lot of perfectionism as well. I think because teachers are so hard working, aren't we? And we, like you say, we're on this constant treadmill, and we're just so hard on ourselves as well. I think there's a lot of that, and trying to be sort of perfect and things. And so I think there's a lot of different things which kind of all sort of loop into each other. But it's very common, I think.
So there's an interesting question here about, do you ever have parents asking for a one-to-one, or is it just that doesn't happen because they know you're a group tutor, or do they ever sort of say, could you just offer an extra session for my son? Or
Yeah, definitely. No, I do have that, even though it's all very clear on sort of my advertising, my marketing. I had one yesterday, for example, for A-level one-to-one, and I don't even choose A-level. That's not on my website, So, you do get that. And again, that's where you just sort of your strategy comes in, if you like, and you kind of stick to your strategy in terms of what your business model is. But I definitely do get that.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting to hear. I hadn't really thought about that, but that's a good question. Thanks for asking. And what was I going to say? Oh, 7th of January. Sorry, that's the sort of close date. So for this cohort, and then obviously there's another cohort in April. I was going to say, what's the best way for them to book on? Is it to have a chat with you first, or is it just to go straight and book on? How do they go about it?
Good question. So either you could go directly to my website, and you could just basically book on there if you like. So book your slot. So for example, either, like I say, the £100 deposit will pay in full, so you can do that straight away. Or if, say, for example, you wanted to speak to me first, then you can book a call in with me. So again, if you go to my website, there's a contact area, a contact page, and if you click on there, there's a place to book a call. So we can just have a little chat on Zoom, no obligation or anything, just to see if it's right for you, if you're not sure. Or through Instagram, I'm on there all the time, so send me a little DM on Instagram. Any of those methods.
Yeah, that's great. And what I'll do is I'll put it in the after the video's gone live, I will put it in the comment section as well, so they can click on that nice and easy and get to you. But yeah, it's it is a fascinating idea about just staying true to yourself as a teacher, but just doing something for yourself, and thinking about that you've done that teaching, haven't you? You've ticked that box, and that's amazing. And taking that next step if you're up for it. Do you have any teachers who are sort of mixing and matching, so they are planning to still stay in the classroom but also tutor for that extra income, or is that just mental because teaching's such hard work at the moment?
I know. To be honest, like I say, the two teachers I've got that are still in the classroom, they're doing it at the moment, I think, like with a plan to possibly leave, but again, it just depends, doesn't it, on all sorts of factors. So I don't strictly have anyone that's doing it and planning to just do it on the sides. I think everyone that I've spoken to is doing it so that they use it as like an exit plan, really, to be honest. And I would say if you're just doing maybe tutoring on the sides, and you just want to do it, I don't know, to earn maybe, I don't know, £100 a week or something extra, then this isn't for you, because this is about setting up an actual business. So yeah.
And one last question from me. I was just sort of wondering, do you, with your Simply Science, do you take on other teachers to teach for you at all, or is it just all you?
No, not at the moment. I'm just an independent tutor at the moment, so I'm not an agency or anything like that. But things could change in the future with that. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just independent. So I just work for myself, and that's what I earn for myself.
And that's the potential growth, I guess, later on, if they were to set up their own business and say they were, I don't know, an English specialist, that then they could perhaps take on a maths or a science or something like that if they wanted to, and grow it that way. So
which is what, one of the cohort actually, she's planning to do that as well, actually. So you can take it in any direction you want. Definitely. Same with like international tutees. So you're doing it in the daytime, so it just depends. Whereas for me, I just do groups 7.5 hours a week, Monday to Wednesday, and then I don't do weekends or Christmas holidays, some holidays, any of the holidays, because I love the holidays. So
who doesn't? And then we're so close, aren't we? We're nearly there with the school holidays, and I'm thinking, come on. I do remember those days, counting down. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. And another question. Sorry, Rysia. So the booklets that you create and the materials, someone's asking about access to that. Now they have access to that for a whole year, don't they?
What, for the academy? Sorry.
Yes.
It's for a whole year. Yes. Minimum. I mean, I might even extend it. I'm just saying a year at the moment because but I could possibly even extend that if so. But definitely, 100% definitely for a year, because it's all on like the online Kajabi platform. So everything's there.
And some things downloadable as well, and they can print them off if they wanted to.
There are some, not many, to be honest. It's mainly sort of video content, if I'm being honest, but there are some like PDFs and things as well, which are in there. But it's mainly video content, to be fair.
Yeah, that's great. So they can either sort of super fast track it in the 12 weeks, or they can sort of take their time and do it as and when. And I guess that's up to the individual, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It just depends on your own situation and what you want to do, etc. So if you want to do it and sort of super speed it, you can do it in 12 weeks. And if you want to just learn everything in those 12 weeks and then implement it later on, or implement it bit by bit, then that's fine as well. It's completely up to you.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time this evening, and thank you for sharing about the group tuition model and how it all works and how it can be so successful, and you're living proof of that. So it's great to have you on talking to our audience. Thank you very much for attending, everyone. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you, Katie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.